Welcome back to All Things ETH. My name is Aaron, and on this channel we talk about all things Ethereum blockchain. We talk about projects, NFTs, play to earn, and price. And today, guys, we are talking about price. I just want to give you an overall look at what's going on in the Ethereum blockchain. I want to give you some stability, reasons why you shouldn't be selling right now. And in my opinion, this is not financial advice, guys. I am not a financial advisor, but I see a lot of good fundamentals, some good TA here that I think you're going to want to check out. So I'm going to talk about a couple other projects that I'm invested in and where I'm at with them as well. I did buy some more on this dip, guys, so I just want to give you a heads up on where I've been, what I'm doing, some transparency as to what I'm up to. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Here's my screen. First thing I want to talk about is the ultrasound.money, this website. If you haven't seen this before, we talked about this a lot in my early videos, guys, but this really gives us a lot of the fundamentals of where ETH is at and where ETH is going. So one thing I wanted to tell you first off is just some of the fundamentals, the basic fundamentals of the Ethereum blockchain. It's just a bit of a refresh, guys, from a lot of the stuff I talked about in the early videos again, but something that's fundamental to the blockchain right now. I want to talk about burn in particular. We're verging on a monthly burn rate of almost the entire issuance of ETH. This is extremely bullish, guys. We're heading towards a time where we could possibly see deflationary ETH before we see the merge. So with almost 8 ETH burned per minute in the last 30 days, the inflection point where we have to hit where ETH becomes deflationary is 8.8. And how I get that measurement, so that's 8.8 ETH burned per minute would make us deflationary, because there's currently about 4.4 blocks created per minute. There's currently about 13 seconds between every block that is created on the Ethereum network, and so there's 4.4 blocks per minute. So there's 2 ETH rewards per block, which means there's an issuance of about 8.8 per minute. So if we were going to see a deflationary Ethereum price, we would want to see 8.8 right here, and we're getting so close. And on a 30-day timeline, that's extremely high, guys. So 8 ETH almost burned per minute, or 8 ETH burned per minute on the 30-day timeline. It is extremely bullish. And on the overall timeline, since the EIP 1559 upgrade that we saw in August, we have almost hit, we're looking at 6.5 ETH burn per minute. So anytime these burn on the blocks here, say 2 or more, is deflationary. Each of these blocks is deflationary. So if you add all these up and you divide it, there's 7 blocks currently shown per, it shows the last 7 blocks essentially, but there's only 4.4 per minute happening. So we really should be able to just multiply these 4 together, divide by 4, or add these together, divide by 4, and you'll get the current block rate of burn. So this is extremely bullish, guys. If we were to start seeing deflationary ETH before the merge, that would be, it's going to be insane, because the merge is going to have even less of rewards per block. In fact, they're talking about giving out only a half an ETH per block coming up at the merge. So that's extremely bullish, guys. Want to talk about a couple projects that I'm in on the leaderboards here. For those of you in the Axie Infinity world, if we look at the overall burn rate, we are super high, still in the top 10. In fact, we're top 8 on the overall ETH burned. Now this is going to go down extremely with the 30-day. The 30-day, we will see Axie Infinity eventually down here, but the reason why we're not in the top 10 anymore is because of the Ronin index. The Ronin swap here, this makes this the Ronin sidechain. If you're not familiar, guys, the Ronin sidechain was made by Sky Mavis for the Axie Infinity Marketplace. You have ETH or wrapped ETH, you have AXS, their native token. The SLP is the token we're earning in the game on a regular basis. USDC is swappable inside of Ronin as well, or Katana. Katana is the name of the exchange, but Ronin is the sidechain. So just to give you a little bit of information there, this makes it a lot less likely for somebody to burn ETH. It makes it a lot cheaper to get into the marketplace and continue to cycle through the marketplace. Before, you would have to take your SLP, take it out to an exchange, and then bring it back in order to get AXS or wrapped ETH, guys. So it's much cheaper now, and that's why the burn rate on the Axie Infinity Marketplace is down here now. Now, things like Uniswap, OpenSea, Tether, MetaMask are always using ETH as the well, everything's using ETH as the layer of you know, what do you want to call it, the security layer. So layer 1, or Ethereum 1.0, is the security layer of the blockchain. It's where all the transactions are verified. So when you're using a sidechain like Ronin, there's no usage of the Ethereum blockchain unless there needs to be an audit, essentially. So I don't know how often Sky Mavis is using Ronin to transact with the Ethereum blockchain. I'm assuming it's at least daily, if not more. But we're seeing a lot less usage of the layer 1 because it's essentially a zero knowledge rollup. So the Ronin chain, the Ronin sidechain, does not need to verify transactions on ETH every time something's transacted. So there's going to be less often the need to burn gas inside of the Ethereum chain. And that's how other rollups are doing it. Matic or Polygon network is a layer 2 of ETH, and it's going to do the same thing, where it's getting the verification information from the ETH blockchain, but you can use the Matic blockchain, the Polygon blockchain, same same chain, 2 different names, but you can use it and have a lot less fees, and then it'll verify or roll up into layer 1 to verify all the transactions. So same with Arbitrum, Optimism, and a couple other chains, guys. So we did see a decline in the ETH price it was Friday evening, I think, right after the crypto market, or rather the traditional markets closed. We saw this dip way down to this golden pocket here. The golden pocket is relative to the highs and lows that we've had throughout the last 6 months, guys. I'm not going to go into why I have the golden pocket there, but this line is the resistance line that I don't see us crossing anytime soon, maybe never again. So we are seeing a decent pump in the ETH price from the very, very lows. We're back in the channel that we were trading in prior to the dump. I'm very excited to see ETH back in that neighborhood. We saw a huge dip in other prices. Bitcoin still struggling below $50,000. Guys, I wouldn't be surprised, and this is my opinion only. I haven't heard this from many other chains. I would not be surprised if we're just continuing to see some of the flippening going on, because as a chain, ETH is just more valuable. In my opinion, guys, ETH has so much more utility, so much more use, so many people are using it. In the last month, we've seen a lot of layer 1s get a lot less use with Cardano, Solana, these sorts of, and Avalanche. There's many different layer 1s out there that are competing with Ethereum. And then in the last couple months, a lot of them are starting to make bridges to compete less with Ethereum and become more a part of the ecosystem, where there's not exactly like rollups, they're more like side chains, but all of the layer ones is where the transactions are verified. So the security of the layer ones, Cardano's got a lot of security, has a lot of it's completely decentralized, where Solana is very uncentralized. It's very heavily centralized, in my opinion. You can do your own research on that, guys. I'm not going to go into it in this video. Other chains are very uncentralized, or decentralized rather, like AVAX is pretty much decentralized. Not quite as big of a network as something like Cardano, and certainly not as big as the ETH and Bitcoin networks. But just to give you a sense of where we're at, I want to show you the ETH versus BTC chart. Guys, back in this neighborhood is when I called when the ETH to BTC ratio passed this descending line of resistance here, is when I started calling us heading towards the top of the flippening here. So I see this throughout the next 3 to 6 months continuing to go up, maybe some corrections here and there, but I do see Bitcoin dominance going down and ETH dominance continuing to skyrocket, guys. And I really do see this going to 0.1, which I believe we flip Bitcoin at around 0.11, 0.12, somewhere in that neighborhood. The flippening, yeah, maybe it's up here at this yellow line. I've calculated it before, so right around 0.2, 0.25, or 0.125 rather, we should see the price of ETH and the market cap of ETH, actually, the market cap of ETH flipping that of Bitcoin. Or at least when they hit the yellow line, they'll be equal to each other, which is amazing. Considering where we've been, we did flip Bitcoin on the ETH chart back in 2018, I believe, right at the end of the year. I want to verify that real quick here, guys, if my chart will load. I know in the last bull cycle, after we saw the blow off top of Bitcoin, we did see a massive run on the ETH chart, and I'm not even there yet. Gotta scroll back a lot further to get there. Probably should show this in the monthly. Let's go to the monthly. Yeah, so we did flip for a very, very, very short time. We flipped Bitcoin on the ETH chart. Come on, catch up. So this is the flippening line here at 0.12. We did flip. There's 3 wicks here, never a candlestick, but 3 wicks that did go above that line in the 2018, end of 17 into 2018, and then again, it looks like, yeah, right at the end or beginning of 18, we saw it happen again. So middle of 17 into 18, we saw the flippening happen, and the last one, it just barely touched in February of 18. So I do think we'll continue to see ETH go throughout the rest of this cycle to this flippening line here, guys, and I'm excited to see it happen because I think it's just more bullish for Ethereum the higher we go. So let's get back into 4-hourly. My overall thesis on this is that Bitcoin is going to lose dominance over all of the coin, over the entire crypto market cap. We are seeing some whale market flow or money flow back into Bitcoin right now, which does look like a pretty bullish sign for us going into the rest of this week, guys. I do think this dump was what we needed to see before our next leg up. One thing I wanted to show you is where we're at with our predictions as far as where I think Bitcoin is going in the next uptrends. If we go from the bottom wick here to the top. That's pretty interesting, guys. We're actually seeing a possible new lower high for Bitcoin based on the long wick we saw. And see, this is the pattern of our uptrends lately. So we went from bottoms here in September to the top here, the top of this first run here in October. We did not see the same jump from October to November as we did in Ethereum. We did see the same jump though, guys, back here. It's roughly the same height. So if we go from the bottom here in July of 21 to the top in September, we saw that same move up. I believe this even reigns true for where we were before. Maybe not. I haven't looked into this. So we've had two run-ups between the mid-year bear market. We've seen it happen twice now where it goes, what's this percentage here? Where we've seen it move up, or rather, that's the wrong direction, sorry. We've seen roughly a 60% jump in the price. So if we see another 60%, and this is interesting because you never know if usually you'd go from the wick down, but the wick down was so hard because of all the liquidations that I want to kind of go from the bottom of the candlesticks here rather than the wicks. That would put us back up to over 70,000. I do think that's possible before the end of the year. We had a jump from September 30th to this high here is October 20th. So 20 days. Yes, I do believe in 20 days we could see the price of 21 of September to 20 of October. Could put us right over to the end of the year, but I do think we'll see a pretty big run here right at the end of December. That should put us above 70,000. And so the same thing over in ETH. I have another line that's similar. Now I've gone ahead and taken this from the wicks, but if we don't, let's just start here from the wick down all the way down here to the top of this run would actually be closer to 58,000, and if we don't take it from the wicks, we go from the candlesticks, we're looking above 6,000 per ETH. That would be another 50% jump from where we're at now. Let me check on that to verify. Yeah, 60% from the bottom. We're already up 10% from the bottom of the candlestick. So this is my prediction, guys. I'm going to go conservative and say that we'll hit $58,000 by the end of December, which I think is completely reasonable considering where we've been and where we could go. And here's another metric, guys. I want to look at Glassnode here. Glassnode is on-chain metrics. We have continued to see an uptrend in the staking of Ethereum since it started in December of last year. We've gone from 0 staked to 1 million staked all the way up to 8 million Ethereum. Now that's in Ethereum, so if you calculate that, so 8 million times the current price, which we're at $4,100, that's over $32.8 billion US dollars in staked ETH. That's Ethereum that's locked up, and that doesn't even include Ethereum that's being used in other protocols. You can wrap ETH in various chains, layer 2s, obviously side chains like Ronin. You can bring Ethereum into other networks and get them wrapped as well. So there's a lot of potential for continued growth, guys, because this does not seem to want to go down. In fact, I think it's currently, I don't know how possible it is to unstake your Ethereum, and that's why I think we've seen nice steady growth here and not any spikes at all, is because of the it can't really go down necessarily, because until we go to the merge, there's really can't be a backpedaling of that system. So the fact that we're continuing to go upwards and trajectory and slowly has been just a really healthy sign for the Ethereum network. I don't know if there's anything else, guys, I really want to cover besides just a couple mentions. I am following Trade Confident. I have subscribed over there, and that's where I'm getting these two new indicators that I'm currently using: the price versus whale money flow and the trend exhaustion. These are premium indicators, guys. I will not, you can go over there. I don't have an affiliate link yet. I will be hopefully getting one at some point, but go over to Trade Confident, guys. This guy is winning trades on a consistent basis by putting in specific indicators. He's doing the math, showing us where to buy, and I haven't done the buy limits that he's set up very often. I'm more of a hodler than I am a trader, so I like to dollar cost average a lot of the time rather than trade. Currently, I might do more trading when we hit the bear market, but for right now, since we continue to see higher highs, I do not want to be selling my Ethereum. So what I'm doing is just taking information in, giving you more perspective on what's going on in the network. This price versus whale money flow is a really fantastic indicator. It shows you where the whales and institutions are really putting, when it's flowing in and when it's flowing out. And so whenever you see the bottom, the green bottom here and the white bottom here in the red section, you're going to see a dip. I mean, this is it just indicates price dips here every single time. This is a top here, there was a top here, we hit bottoms here, and there's bottom here. So every time we see this go back and forth, if we hit the top of the red section, it's usually a time to dip. Even though this here is a small dip in relation, there's still a dip. So if you're a trader, these are super great indicators. I like to see it as really helps me with my TA, guys. So I do think that since there's a lot of whale money flow into Ethereum right now, we are heading back towards the top of my trading channel. I do think we will hit $4,500 within the next couple days, as this whale money flow has just flown in real big here. And then once this hits, this trend exhaustion hits the top red section, I do expect us to come back down. So anytime we see this white line go into the top red section, we do see a rebound in the price down. It might not be right away, sometimes it's a little bit after, but it does indicate the top of the, a near top for the indication of where we might be heading down into for a healthy correction. So something that I'll be continuing to look at there, guys. I did say that at the beginning of the video that I bought the dip. I will be super transparent. I bought most of that in AXS tokens because the dip in AXS was more dramatic than that of Ethereum, and I can show you that for sure here. The AXS versus ETH chart has just plummeted, guys. I traded some ETH for AXS at here. I was hoping to do a little bit of arbitrage between the two. I've shown some lines here of indication of where some local highs, some structural markers are here, and we've just continued to plummet down. So I will say that I traded some ETH for AXS at this point out of my Coinbase account. I bought more, or I traded even more down here, converted ETH into AXS, and then I purchased more ETH more AXS right about at $107 just a couple days ago. Actually, yesterday, I bought them at 105 abouts, maybe 107, right at this yellow line, I think, is where I purchased them. and because I felt like that was going to be a structural low. Well, we did go down further, but we are starting to see a little bit of a turnaround in the whale money flow, guys. I do expect to see this continue up, and I am not at all bearish on the Axie Infinity marketplace. In fact, although SLP is below 4 cents, which is really unfortunate, guys. The first time we've really broken under 5 cents in the last bull run that we've seen on AXS, or SLP rather. On SLP, obviously the price was super low when we started the game a couple years ago, but it has seen highs of, I think, 32 cents is like the extreme high here, which is just insane. Wow, even higher. We hit 40 cents is the very top. We've continued to drop since because the mint to burn rate has been so high, but with the last update, so season 19 is when we saw this spike here, and then we also saw the spike, I believe we saw it right here when the Ronin or Katana decks came out. So with each new big jump from our each new release rather, we see a jump in the SLP price. So there's a huge spike in now this is a little bit hard to calculate, guys, because this is the smooth love potion, or the SLP, doesn't trade on a lot of exchanges yet. So this is the FTX, which isn't a super large exchange, not as big as Coinbase or Binance. So we're it's hard to use these indicators on a coin that's more that, you know, with a lot less trading going on, just a very much smaller market cap. But to see this way up in the top red section, or the top of the top section, and then to see you know, the trend exhaustion in the bottom quadrant here, I do think we could see a pump, you know, back to 5 cents possibly. However, the biggest news that's coming out for the Axie Infinity space is that land play should be out before the end of the year, based on their timeline for the game. And there's been some tweets from some of the devs out there that are talking about hitting those milestones on that roadmap. So I am bullish very long term on AXS and the Axie Infinity market space. So don't be concerned. I mean, obviously, this is not financial advice, guys, but I am putting more money into the Axie Infinity marketplace, as I think it still has room to blow up. So between AXS and SLP will likely see a pump, but unless they create new burning mechanisms in the land play, we probably won't see continued growth on the SLP. It probably will continue to drop over the long term, but I know that the team wants to have this game be super viable, and I know that they're working on things that will make the burn higher. So this is just inflation, guys. There's not enough burning going on between. The only way to burn right now is to use the breeding function within the game, and there's just not enough breeding going on because it's not as profitable, because I think the AXS price is so high. So with one AXS needed to breed an Axie, two Axies together to get a child, basically, you need at least one AXS and then a lot of SLP. So there's definitely a lot of SLP burn in that process, but there's not enough to keep up with the mint, because so many scholars out there are making new money every day in SLP. So I am still bullish on the price of this, guys. Again, I did buy a bunch of it, more AXS, and looking forward to announcing what I'm going to do with that AXS, guys, because I do intend to bring it into the Axie marketplace, and I do intend to purchase more Axies and give away more scholarships in December. So with that, I am going to finish this video. It's got a little longer than I expected, but thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are loving your journey in the Ethereum blockchain like I am, and I think we've got a lot of upside coming up, guys. So stick around and stay calm. Thanks, and bye-bye.